Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Pat, and today we're going to take a look at the Warfront mod. This mod is actually really great and adds a ton of content into the game. It adds over 100 weapons, adds 10 biomes. It adds in like a pill system, which is kind of like a buff slash potion system. It's pretty interesting. And also some instant structures, which is kind of cool. So lots of new stuff. There's one new mob, not a bunch of mobs, but yeah, lots of stuff. I'm not going to show you the crafting recipe, all the crafting recipes, because there's just too many. But I'll show you the basic understanding of how to craft things and all the stuff that there is. Alright, to start off with tons of new weapons. Crazy amounts. And the interesting thing is they're actually made from blocks that are already in Minecraft. So this mod doesn't add like a lot of new blocks, but what it adds is a bunch of new crafting recipes you can do with the blocks that are already available. So looking at these swords, there's a dirt sword, a snow sword, a glass sword, a coal sword, a redstone sword, emerald, obsidian, and lapis. So I mean, would a dirt sword or a glass sword really make sense? Probably not. But the cool thing is you can actually do something else with those materials that really don't have too many uses in Minecraft, so it's kind of cool like that. The recipe to these is pretty obvious, but I'll show you one of them. Like the dirt sword, of course, is made with a stick and then 2 blocks of dirt above it. And then there's a bunch of knives, and the crafting recipe for those is with a stick in the middle and then the block in the top left. Now, there's also battle axes as well, so you have lots of choices in the weapons you want to make. And the recipe for these is 2 sticks like that, and then the blocks above it and on the sides. Alright, and that isn't even all the melee weapons. There's a lot of melee weapons. There's also a bunch of warhammers, guys, but one thing about these is they haven't actually been added in yet because there is no recipe for them. There's even samurai sword, which is kind of cool, and there is a recipe for that one, and that's made out of samurai stick and then 2 of the blocks diagonal like this. And to make a samurai stick, all you're going to need is a stick, you're going to need some string, and leather all around it. So that is available. The only thing not available at this moment is there's the warhammers. Alright, so let's go on. So now there's a bunch of, there's a few ranged weapons, not a lot, but there's a bunch of different staves, and there's a ridiculous amount of them. There's actually, like, an interesting, like, system with it, too. But I'll show you guys the staves. There's a flaming bow, as you can imagine, that lights things on fire. There's a punching bow, and, you know, that actually knockbacks. So there's a few different things, a few different bows. We'll shoot one of these. I'll shoot the flaming bow. And yeah, as you can see, that would light something on fire. And let's spawn this one mob that is in the game, and that is the swiper. You can see him right here. Looks kind of weird. He's like a ninja or something. And if I were to shoot the punching bow at him, it should knock him back. And yes, it does. So that is a couple different interesting bows that there are. So it's cool that it has a knockback already on it, basically. Alright, so let's take a look at the staves. The staves are really interesting. And there's a bunch of like normal plain staves. Like this one is regular staff, poison staff, rotting staff, infectious staff. If I'm to go into the poison staff and show the use for it, you can actually upgrade staffs is what it is. So if I take a poison staff and use spider eyes around it, I'll make a better staff, and this one's a rotting staff. And I can also take a poison staff with a wither staff, and that will make a there's no name on this yet, but it's just called the secondary staff as of now, but it will have the same effects as poison and wither on your enemies. And I can also do it with a weakness staff, same thing, no name, but it will give both the effects of this into the new staff. Same thing with slowness and poison. So you can take a lot of the plain staves and you can use them to make an even better staff. So that is pretty cool that they added that in. Alright, so there's actually some more melee weapons. There are maces as well. And the recipe for these is actually a stick in the bottom right and then the 4 blocks in the top left like that. And now here's a couple interesting staffs, and these are a different kind of staff. These ones actually have like more of a use to them, and this one is a lightning staff, and what that's going to do is going to shoot down lightning from the sky wherever you aim it, like that. And not only that, I noticed one thing about mods is usually with the lightning staffs, they don't break blocks. This one actually destroys blocks as well, so very powerful. You could use it for, I guess, multiple uses since it can actually break the blocks around it. I like the explosive staff. This is probably one of my favorites because it makes a huge like crater. I mean, look at that. You could actually use this to, like, you know, you got too much mountain in the way for a build, just start blowing shit up. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Teleportation staff. I like this one. It just teleports you to where you aim, like that. And the cool thing about this one is I've seen a bunch of teleportation staffs, but I feel like whenever I see them, it, like, throws and it, like, works like an ender pearl does. But this one, you know, is just, like, an instant teleportation to that spot. So I like that it's, like, really, like they worked hard on it and made sure it was good. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to show you guys is, I'm going to show you the instant structures. I might as well show you those. Because, you know, it's kind of interesting that they put these in here. So it's like a few different things that you could make, you know, really simple. I'll show you the recipes for them as well. The instant dugout, the recipe for that one is dirt like this with a wooden pickaxe like that and a trap door. So I'll just go over all the recipes before we do them. And the instant house, the recipe for that one is cobblestone, wood, a bunch of, you know, actual wood, and a door in the middle. And the instant fort, this one's kind of, I don't know, this one's not very good, but I'll show you guys it. It's stone bricks, and it's iron bars on the top and the bottom. And the last one, the castle, the recipe for that one is actually a bunch of stone bricks. It's going to be a block of gold and a multiplier. And how to get a multiplier, all you're going to need is some redstone, you're going to need iron ingots, and ender pearl. So this one, of course, is a castle, so it makes sense it'll be a little harder to make. So I'll show you that. The first one right here is the dugout. So all you got to do is put it down flat on the ground and touch it, and yeah, there really isn't much to it. There's just kind of like a hole in the ground, and there really isn't a way to get in or out of it, so I don't know that it shows much use. Okay guys, the next one is instant house, and the house is actually going to probably be pretty useful to get a little house going. It's not hard to make either, is one of the things. Since it's easy to make, you might even want to make it for your first house. So it's just a little house. I keep accidentally putting things down. So it's just a little house, you know, to get you started. Okay, the next one is an instant fort, so I'll put that one down. And back up. Okay, I ended out inside it, but here we go. So yeah, it's like a little fort. So these are kind of like cool little things that they added in, you know, for a little extra. The castle, in my opinion, isn't the greatest either, but I'll show you. It's pretty big though, so that's cool. All right, so giant castle. I don't know if you'd call it a castle. It looks like more like I'd call it a castle in progress, is what I would call it. I mean, it's like a good start to a castle, yeah. So it actually has like a little throne room, which is cool. So check that out right here. Probably my favorite part of it. But yeah, I wouldn't know if you'd really call it a castle, but it's a good base for a castle. If you wanted to build a castle and you're not sure how to go about it, that would be a perfect base for a start to a castle, in my opinion. All right, the last thing that there is, guys, is there's a pill system, and basically they're kind of like potions. So let me go into survival. All right, guys, so this one's a strength pill. All you have to do is basically just eat it, and you know, it'll give you that effect, and it's gonna last for 30 seconds. And you can actually upgrade pills, which is kind of cool. There's also a jump pill. So I'll eat this one. And now I could jump like, it's like I'm like moon. It's like I'm on the moon or something, but so it's kind of cool. Only thing is, you could easily take damage. But yeah. So there's a bunch of different ones. I'll show you all of them. Alright guys, here is the wide selection of pills that there are in the game. There's speed pills, strength pills, resistance, regeneration. Pretty much any effect you can get, there is a pill for it. And there's different levels to them. Like this is a haste pill that's level 1. And then if you go down here, like a water pill level 2. So you can actually upgrade them. So if I look at this haste pill and see what it does, is it can actually make the haste pill level 1, level 2. So as you see, if I put a haste pill in here with gunpowder, it'll make a haste pill level 2, which is a little more stronger. And if I can use that one, I could actually make a haste pill level 3. So you can do that with every single one. So you can get all different levels of pills of different strength. So that actually is pretty cool. So you can get any kind of like potion type effect, and they're not really too hard to make either. So it's pretty much available stuff that you can get in the game without too much of a problem. And that's one of the things about making a potion, is usually it's kind of hard to make, but these are fairly easy. Like for this one, all I'm going to need is sugar canes and iron ingots. So guys, now what I'm going to show you is all the biomes. The one I'm in right now is the wasteland, and up there is the Alps. Alright guys, so this biome is an orchard biome, and this is actually one of the things I always felt should be in the game was apple trees. Because, you know, you get the apples off the trees, and, you know, they're not apple trees. Now there's apple trees and orange trees into the game, and those are two foods that were added in, the two foods that were added in, so there is a couple foods, and it just looks really good too. Not only is it kind of useful, but it actually looks pretty damn good. Okay guys, this one is the Cherry Grove biome, and it actually looks really cool. I mean, it's kind of like a girly biome. I could see like my girlfriend really liking this one, but you know, it looks cool. It's very colorful and interesting looking. And this one is the Ashlands biome, and it kind of looks similar to the one I was in before, but it has this like disgusting like oily water here. So that's pretty much the difference in that one. This one here is called the Forgotten Forest, and the thing about this one is it's like completely overrun by trees, and they're actually on like mountains and stuff too, so it actually looks cool, but obviously traveling through this would be a complete pain in the ass. You could just tell. I mean, you can't see anything, so this is like the most overrun forest you could possibly imagine, the Forgotten Forest. So yeah, the only thing about it looks cool from up in the air, but if you're not flying around, this could be the biggest pain in the ass that you could possibly think of in Minecraft. Alright guys, this one is the Badlands, and you can see it kind of looks like a desert, and there's some like mucky water around, and a lot of these mobs that spawn in this biome, and they spawn in like big clusters like this as well, so you're going to want to be careful of those guys. Now the one we're in is the Marsh, and in the Marsh it's kind of like a really flat area with, like, you know, a few trees but not really a lot, and some interesting colored water around as well. So it's just kind of like, you know, it's very similar to like a plains, but, you know, with a couple trees and some water for scenery. Alright guys, now we're in the Alps, and this is probably one of the coolest ones because it's like these giant mountains. They look really cool. And not only that, you're going to see that there's snow golems like prowling around. There's a bunch of them. And there's also the chance of seeing some iron golems, which seem to be a little bit more rare. So both kind of golems can actually be walking around in these biomes. So that's pretty interesting. And this one is called the Mysterious Woods, guys. And this one is like way up in the air, just like the other one that was. And maybe that's why it's mysterious. But basically, it's just a bunch of trees really high up. It looks cool though from like the side because it's kind of like a mountain like biome, but trees. I don't know. It's a cool forest. Okay guys, there's only one biome I could not find. I could not find the savanna, which is supposed to be a pretty flat land. And yeah, I just couldn't find that one. I looked all over for it for a while. But that's pretty much all there is in this mod, guys. And if you enjoyed it, make sure that you subscribe. Guys, I will see you next time.